Welcome into Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho.
And this is Jacob Waters.
And guys, thank you so much for watching. We are talking about the Washington football team today, doing a little bit of an off-season breakdown, a little bit of a projection for the future, what to expect for this football team, a little bit of good old-fashioned football talk. I mean, we're going to bring it all for you guys today. Let's start in with just your raw reactions of what to expect with Washington. What are you thinking about the future? And I'll pull up some graphics here for you.
I am insanely excited for this football team. They had a more than impressive free agency. I would argue a top 3 overall free agency, and bringing in certain guys. The draft, they really bet on some of these high ceiling guys, and I like their ability to be able to fit into this offense. And listen, it's going to be a good year for Washington. It's weird to say that because I still think that you have Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback or Taylor Heineke or whoever the heck it's going to be. It's the defense that speaks for itself. It's the scary Terry on the outside. It is Antonio Gibson's season, by the way. Ron Rivera is ready to explode him into that CMC kind of role. I think so. I really think so.
I'm just a child. I'm sorry.
Wow, you're horrible. It's Antonio Gibson time.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It's a good team.
Yeah.
I have them winning the division.
It's a good team. Yeah.
It's a good team. They're going to explode on you.
All right, listen, I absolutely agree. I really thought I was going to be that very high on Washington. I thought I was going to be the guy who was, overhyping this team. I'm not. Apparently, you're very high. I don't think they're a quarterback away, man. I really don't. Let's look at the quarterbacks they played last year and the way they were able to play with very, very poor play. You had Dwayne Haskins for the first 4 weeks. Then you had Kyle Allen and Alex Smith in week 5. You had Kyle Allen for the next 2 weeks. Then you had Allen and Smith after Allen got hurt again. Then you had Smith for 4 weeks. Then you had Smith and Haskins when Smith went down in week 14. And then you had Haskins for 2 weeks. Then you had Taylor Heineke come in week 16. And then you had Alex Smith play week 17. Then you had Taylor Heineke play in the playoff game in week 18. Revolving door at quarterback. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick's team. This is his time to shine. I am very excited for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And listen, we can talk about whatever we want to talk about with Ryan Fitzpatrick. We know the history. I'm not saying he's the future. I'm saying it's his team this year, in 1 year, 2021.
So you're happy to see him finally bouncing around and around.
I'm happy. Listen, I was upset when they took the reins away from him in Miami. As a Dolphins fan, I don't know, people might not know that about me. Diehard Dolphins fan. I thought it was his team in Miami. We hit the bye, and they gave it to Tua. He did too. He was pretty upset about that. He's come out and said that. And if you watch the interview when right after he had found out, he didn't handle it the way you would expect a veteran to handle it, and it was just because he was upset.
Especially for a guy who's bounced around as much as he has. But that lets you know that they told
him he literally said he's only felt that way twice, and it was the Bills when he had that team for a couple of years, and it was the Dolphins, and now it is Washington. And listen, we can say what we want about Fitzpatrick, like obviously a gunslinger, but he's ranks 5th in the most air yards in the NFL since 2017. This is a guy who, you look at last year's stats, he wasn't crazy with the football. He wasn't throwing interceptions left and right. He ran the offense at a high level. He found plays down the field. Did he leave? I think he created some great highlight moments. Just go back and watch the Raiders game. I mean, come on. Like, how do you not love this guy just as a fan? If you're a fan of the NFL or a fan of half the teams in the NFL, you like Ryan Fitzpatrick because he was on your team at one point. And then, so I'm very excited for him in this offense, and I do think he is an automatic upgrade from a Dwayne Haskins and Alex Smith, who, by the way, ranked 36th and 42nd respectively in quarterback ADOT score a year ago. So it's not like they were playing with the highest level talent last year. And they were still really good. Their offense was still kind of explosive. We still saw Antonio Gibson ball out a little bit. We still saw the scary Terry true explosion year. And in year 2, it exploded onto the scene, although rookie year was really good too. We saw all that. Now you add in the weapons. Now you add in, let's switch over to free agency, bringing in, obviously we talked about Ryan Fitzpatrick, bringing in a William Jackson to help out that secondary, which I thought was the most underrated signing of the draft. And then free agency, and then Curtis Samuel, a big name wide receiver, not big name, but a very good possession wide receiver that brings a lot to your football team, and I really love what they did in the draft as well. We'll talk about DYAMI Brown in a little bit. I think he has a good chance of being the number 2 on that football team, and really, man, I think they got a lot better in free agency. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, they did, and they were good last year. That's the whole point. And the defense, as young as they are,
and their front seven's already amazing.
They kept adding names.
Yeah.
I think they added a Kendall Fuller in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have name after name where if you were to build their whole chart and show their star players on defense, it's pretty much the whole defense.
Yeah.
Minus maybe their right linebacker, whatever the case may be. They are loaded. Defense travels well. I do still feel like they are a quarterback away when it comes to having a window for a legitimate Super Bowl opportunity, though. I think that they are a playoff team. So when it comes to, but that's the hard part, because I say it for other teams. I looked at a team like the Titans and I said, if you're winning your division, then the window is at least there because you're already making it to, like you're already in the playoffs. And if you're in the playoffs, you're a few wins away from being
Listen,
there.
I'll get that, because if they had Ryan Tannehill on their football team, I would be telling you, they're going to be super competitive for the next 4 or 5 years.
I think if they have a true stud of a
say.
Quarterback, if they can land that spot, that's why I say they're a quarterback away.
Yeah. And listen, it was interesting because this draft was kind of heavy on quarterbacks. There's certainly some guys, some names out there, and you really never heard any rumors that Washington was going to try and trade up. I think there was some hope in the Washington building that maybe somebody falls, but they were not getting overexcited. They felt good about what they had in a Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think they were honestly, I think they were building the team the right way. They were saying, hey, we're gonna go into the draft, we're gonna go into free agency, and we're gonna plug some holes. Our offensive line isn't awesome. Let's get a Samuel Cosme and trade for an Eric Flowers just to shore up that offensive line where the holes are. We're not in love with our linebacker. We think the weakness of our front seven is linebacker. Let's get a Jermaine Davis just to add into that piece. Benjamin St. Juste, by the way, a guy who I wasn't really aware of, went in the third round. He's been balling out. He got a chance to play with the ones in free agent or in this past preseason game and played pretty well. So that might be a surprise third round pick that ends up being a starter. And again, not a guy I was aware of at all. I remember doing a lot of research after the draft because I just never really heard of him. Mm-hmm. And then DYAMI Brown, I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of DYAMI Brown. I think he has all the physical ability to be very, very dynamic for Washington, and I think he can be that Devontae Parker type of guy, bigger body, and I think DYAMI Brown's even a little bit bigger than him. But bigger body, can run, and all those things. And Devontae Parker had a really good connection with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's why I'm making that connection. I could see the same thing happening there with DYAMI Brown.
I like the way that you addressed not addressing the quarterback. That might sound a little weird, but for a team where it could be so urgent on, oh my God, we got to go get the guy. Oh my God, let's trade away some future assets and go get Justin Fields or go get Mac Jones or go get this guy. And then for it to not work out, you are already assuming that a guy that you don't know is the answer can be the answer while jeopardizing that future. Right now, the entire picture is still intact. You still have a phenomenal roster overall, top to bottom, with a team that travels well, with a good coach, with I would say, good overall organization until you get to the tippy top with the owner. I cannot stand Dan Snyder.
We're not huge fans, yeah.
Exactly. But all in all, this team, they didn't need to make the jump at quarterback right now because I don't think that they shouldn't have that pressure of breathing down their neck. Oh my God, we're going to do it right away. You see a lot of teams, Chicago, they did. They felt necessary to go make that jump and go do that.
Yeah.
Every team's different when you evaluate them top to bottom. But I mean, I know this would be probably impossible, I guess, just when I think of Washington as a whole. But what if they had an Aaron Rodgers?
Wow. Yeah.
What if they were able to swing that? And then Washington DC is DC. You don't associate. That's where they're located, of course, but it never really connects with me how, I guess, prolific of a city that is, especially compared to Green Bay, because you always think of free agency.
Oh, I see where you're going. I was like, I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm talking about free agency destinations as a whole.
Gotcha.
You want to go play at a cultural hub. I guess a lot of guys do. Aaron Rodgers up there in Green Bay. There's nothing up there, so that would be an upgrade.
Aren't there a lot of tax breaks in Washington? Is that a thing? I don't know. I don't really know.
I know that there's some buildings where a lot of guys get off on that stuff. So, but just imagine if Aaron Rodgers were to be just enamored by the city of Washington as a whole and want to go play there.
Yeah, I don't even think he has to really care about the city because he doesn't. I don't think that's his main focus. I don't think
that was his. But that is a lot of guys. That was Brady's. One of Brady's main things.
Well, what I was saying is, I think he could just look at that roster and be like, man, this is a team I could win a Super Bowl with.
Yeah,
and I really believe. Yeah, you're right. You said it, and it blew my mind. I was like, man, we weren't really even the teams that we kept talking about with the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, with the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. We didn't even really talk about Washington, and both of those make a whole lot of sense.
I think they are better set up than a lot of the other teams that could be mentioned, though.
Yeah, they really are, and really a lot of their big contributors are young. I don't know exactly what their cap situation is, but it wouldn't shock me if they could move some money around and make that happen.
I think financially they'd be set up because they have a lot of guys they haven't had to pay yet.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's certainly an interesting one. Wow. Yeah. I don't even want to go to the next topic. I just want to let that set in for myself a little bit.
Aaron Rodgers on that team, or Deshaun.
That's dirty.
You make the move for it.
And they run the division for the next 10 years.
Because of how low down it is.
Yeah.
You could jeopardize your future for that type of caliber
for real.
guy. Yes.
All right. The last thing I do want to mention is where they're scheduled to be. So what this is a strength of schedule chart based on the win projections from Vegas, right?
It's a hard schedule.
It's actually basing it on next year's projections as opposed to what last year was. And yeah, it is a pretty hard schedule. 28th, 5th worst in the NFL. They certainly have to run into really, I mean, all the top teams. It seems like
they do.
I mean, they run into everybody.
We'll figure out what they're made of. If you play Buffalo, Kansas City, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Dallas twice, of course. And I'll throw the Chargers in there.
Yeah,
that is a hard gauntlet.
Man, that first 8 weeks is tough. You have a couple teams that's like, okay, you can probably win that. You don't know what the Saints are going to look like, really.
Yeah, I didn't even know the Saints.
Exactly. Yeah, like so. There's teams there. It's like, okay, yeah, I could see them getting out. 4-4 after 8 weeks. Get into a tough game after the bye. After that, it's kind of like you get the Eagles twice, you get the Giants, Cowboys.
And they get the Cowboys twice. So the meat of their division games. It falls right there at the
games.
end.
Wow,
yeah.
Those last 5 games are all division games.
They could go from 3rd or 4th in the standings overall and really just take
crush them all. Yeah, for real. That's wild to go back to back division rivals. That's crazy to me. But yeah, that's a little bit of a strange schedule. I just wanted to bring that up because it is a tough road.
Do better than that.
And to be fair, listen, we're saying it's a tough road. We're still giving them 11 wins.
Yep.
So that shows you how much we believe in them. I think a lot of times our record doesn't always project exactly what we feel about the team, like it's the way we do our record projections. But this one does for me. This one certainly does for me. I think this is going to be a really good football team.
It's a compliment to the team in saying that we just went over how hard their schedule was and to say that they get out of it like that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I will be betting the over, by the way. 8 is they're not winning less than 8 games. I really just don't see
7
that.
is the floor.
Yeah, to me, I would absolutely agree with that, and things would have to go wrong there, I would think. But all right, guys, I think that's it. I don't have anything else to add about Washington. Do you? All right, we're gonna head out.
Rodgers play there.
Exactly, or Deshaun Watson, honestly.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you. Like, subscribe. If you're looking out for another division, another video, be on the lookout. It might already be out. We have 2 more divisions to get to before the NFL season starts. We're going to be putting them all out on YouTube, and we can also check out our podcast or anything else on the Between the Pylons channel. There's a lot of back catalog stuff that you can check out. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
7.